With every punch and combos, there's a story with each boxer here at Mustafa Boxing Gym in Decatur.
14-year-old David Walton has spent the last 5 years becoming one with his cello.
I'm going to play this piece, and it's named Oh Holy Lord.
And it never sounded better.
The power of Narcan can be life-saving and life-changing.
Narcan has saved my life, my brothers, a bunch of my very close friends.
Chandler struggled for 23 years with drugs and is now sober. Here today because of free Narcan saving his life in the past.
Ultimately, just to stay alive another day is the hope shot, right?
66 Casino.
For Ben Calhoun, music and instruments are his passion.
Almost unobtainium. You just never ever see those.
From 99-cent records to some of the rarest vintage guitars with documented pasts.
Walking Warm Springs, door after door, most did not know the police department is in limbo. What? Much less why.
We need answers.
February 24th, police say Hannah Hackenmeyer was driving with friends down Oak Grove Road when she lost control of her vehicle.
It hit the tree, and then the sound was a screeching noise.
Every day, it's the same.
It's a daily struggle.
Lily goes to her storage locker, picks out her clothes, and sets up a tent, only to wake up in the morning and put everything back up before going to work.
Some people are just fighting to get out of this. But
In the middle of downtown Atlanta, a cast of thousands check their true identities at the door. Ruby Fallon, or shall we call her She-Hulk, loves this.
Because it's like a huge con. I've never been to a 5-day con like this.
Dragon Con, the annual pop culture superhero, supervillain, sci-fi gamer gathering, is back.
Fire consumes. It burns up lives, property, mementos.
All I have is just the memories here.
For Brooke Walker, she spent the afternoon looking through the ashes.
The water rushed into the house.
It was hard to believe, dinner time taken over by water. And the next thing that Robin's daughter knew, firefighters were outside of her home on boats.
What followed was a shootout in the apartment complex's loading dock.
Everybody could kind of know exactly what happened because the echoes.
The suspect supposedly ran away before police arrived. And while investigators pored over the scene, residents came out to damaged.
I slammed on the brakes.
29-year-old Aubrey Bowen didn't know what she hit around 9:30 Saturday night along I-75 in Catoosa County, but the collision brought her car to a stop.
We had a member who dumped hot grease on him.
All Pastor Johnny Beasley Jr. could do was hope and pray after a fish fry ended with Rufus Binford fainting and crashing into a grease vat.
So we have help on the way.
And we waited and waited.
The first 911 call came in at 5:06. 20 minutes later, they were still waiting and called 911 again as Rufus began to lose contact.
Saturday night in the gated Eaglesbrook neighborhood, 6-year-old Kalani Ogletree was outside without her parents on her scooter when a DoorDash driver pulled up to make a pizza delivery.
Solemn faces accompanying the 7 o'clock hour, the time that the state scheduled its first execution in 4 years. Uncertain times are rolling in as the city of Kingston is running out of money to pay for police, roads, and more.
The problem is there's not enough income coming in.
We don't have the infrastructure that we're supposed to have. We don't have the income that we're supposed to have.
Residents say the problem started around 2 years ago when a lunchtime rush turns into a panic as shots ring out at Peachtree Center.
Hey, leave, they're shooting.
They hear SWAT teams outside and they're everywhere. They're circling the building.
I see about 10 cars, either undercover or police cars or firefighters, really loud sirens.
And for those on the inside, they saw it all as a 34-year-old man with a gun confronted another person in line. Just off the road, a cross marks the spot of a father's nightmare.
And see you little girl lay down on the floor. I mean, there's no words for that.
Edward Campos still doesn't understand why.
Glass company sent this letter to the city of East Point, writing the customer has no leak and the meter was showing no movement indicating water usage.
The sauce was in my mouth and I can't stop throwing up.
It's enough to make you squirm. A creature and a cup of coffee from here at this Decatur Road quick trip.
A germaphobe eating roaches.
And my stomach just hurting even thinking about it, even talking about it.
LaRonda Robinson used to love Quick Trip, but last Thursday she says she remembers getting to the end of her coffee cup and drinking something she thought might have been some lumped up creamer.
So I spit it out in the QT napkin, and it was a roach.
This guy just come out of nowhere saying he purchased our home and just took our home.
It's a tactic real estate attorneys say they're starting to see all too often.
Later, the city posted this on social media, confirming it fired the chief and suspended all but one officer, Aisha Al-Khalifa, the interim chief now, and the city says it's investigating concerns with conduct and operations. I called Mayor Robin Pinnenberg to find out why. And the interim chief.
Give me a call back.
Plus, state and county leaders. No response.
I turned the faucet on. Nothing's coming out.
I don't want to cry, but I'm frustrated.
Sandra Patterson says she feels like she's being extorted.
To not have water in my house, to wash my hands, to brush my teeth, to wash my face.
She received this letter from East Point demanding that she pay more than $2,000 for a water bill or have her water turned off. Do you have $2,000 to pay this bill?
I do not.
It sits in the shadow of the Atlanta city skyline, bordered by Piedmont Avenue on one side, Monroe Drive on the other, 10th Street to the south.
Piedmont Park is the green heart of Atlanta. You are standing on the steps of history everywhere you walk.
Courtney Bugler is with the Park Conservancy, the stewards.
Here we are at
Blake Reeves, the storyteller. The beginning predates the city itself, all the way back to 1821.
It is purely a farm. This was the original 202-acre plot that was given away by the state of Georgia, and it was a family farm.
20 years after the end of the Civil War, as a new South was rising, the land was sold and became home to what would later be called the Piedmont Driving Club, the horse and buggy kind of driving. And in 1895, a World's Fair, the Cotton States and International Exposition, attracted 800,000 visitors from every corner of the globe. The grand entrance still stands.